All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we have the Area 51 Super Speedway Xfinity Series here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. As always, 75 laps is our scheduled race distance. Of course, as we mentioned week in, week out, they have the one fast repair available, and of course, the 3 attempts, should they need it, of a green-white checkered finish. So we'll see if that comes into play this evening or not. We are starting race number 6 of the 12. So after tonight, they've got 2 more races before we start our 4-race playoff. So top 8 is going to be crucial here. Saying we're, of course, right now the points not quite showing the drop week as of yet. So that'll be the next thing that we'll be keeping an eye on, is where that drop week falls. But right now, though, the driver probably not feeling too concerned about things is Peter DeBorgia. He's got 2 wins in the season, and he's got a solid 63-point lead over Todd Siebel's J.D. Crow. And you got Vicente Guerrero and Cody Nagels getting the win last week, bumping himself up into that top 5. And then 6th through 8th, you've got Eric Laurie, Sebastian Marin, and Jay Hilliard right now holding that final spot with that 4-point jump that he's done. But then you look not too far behind him, though. I mean, you see Robert DuPont. He's only 4 points out. 2 points behind him, Robert Rock, Charles Johnson's right there, Gabe Butler. And then you got Brandon Briggs, Bud Steele, and Dan Harrington are top 15 in the points. So I say it's going to start getting to the point soon, Matt, where some of these drivers are going to start to watch their points positions more probably than the the points positions more than where they are, and trying to win races and things of that nature. So I'm leaning towards most likely we're going to start to see a little bit of some strategy out of these guys over the course of these next couple of races.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers are mostly, how can you say it, be very cautious right now. We're worrying about where their point position is at. If I was on the outside of the top 8, I would be very concerned. Probably, man, if I would probably stay in the back strategy. It's just, if you get caught up in it, it's pretty much lights out. It's race over for you. But it's going to be a long race, long time coming for some of these drivers.
Yeah, so you got plenty of drivers, and that's the thing too, Matt. Like you said, a bad race. I mean, there are over 30 drivers here tonight, so that's going to be a big one as well to see what we've got going on for the strategy side of things. But it's going to be fun to see what the kind of approach is going to be. Like I said, I mean, for Peter DeBorgia, I think he can go aggressive. I mean, he can take the chances, take the gambles. Maybe some of his teammates aren't really ready to do yet. But then, of course, we talk about week in and week out, though, Matt, the selflessness of some of these teams. It also could open an opportunity for Peter DeBorgia to maybe decide, hey, you know what? I've got my wins, and maybe now I can try to push a teammate, get him a better result, and get him right into the thick of the points battle. Because, of course, I mean, the more teammates you have in the championship final 4 races, the better. So that could always come into play as well here.
Yeah, we saw that last week with Vicente Guerrero in the 06 of Cody Nagels. And you saw right there, one was in front of the other, and one was going to push the teammate to the win. It's all about teammates here in Area 51, here the Super Speedway Series. We probably will not see any selflessness. All these drivers are just great, great, great people, and I'm glad to be a part of this.
I'll say it's selfless when they come with the teammates, but then once it turns into everybody else involved in the other teams, so at that point all gloves are off. So it's going to be fun though. It is going to be exciting to see. And like you mentioned, the teams side of things, like kind of looking through our group here, I say there are, like I said, Cody Nagels, Vincent Guerrero, they're kind of in there together. You got Dan Harrington, Derek Walker, they'll be in together. And then you get to like the kind of the powerhouses, if you will, car count wise. You got TW Motorsports again, who I think has got at least 10 drivers. Looking at the Discord, like they've got a little party over there. And then of course the Boot Knockers got about 5 or 6 drivers, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So I mean, and that's the thing, is if you're one of those, like we talked about before, if you're one of these solo drivers, you might need to try to talk to some drivers, maybe say, hey, I'm looking for some help, looking for a team, maybe you can help me out here. So we'll see if that comes into play or not in this race or not, or maybe they kind of band together, if you will. So it'll be fun to see what that overall strategy is going to be. However, looks like qualifying has just completed here, Matt. So let's go ahead and get to our starting grid for tonight's event. And on pole position, it's going to be that 23 of Sebastian Marin, able to knock off Gabe Butler from the pole by just over, about 100th of a second there. And you got Cody Nagels, last week's winner, in third. Zach Workman, Everett Lane are top 5. And then rounding out top 10, you got Eric Laurie, Peter DeBorgia, Al Cena, Derek Walker, and Brandon Briggs all in the top 10. And 11th on back, you've got Noel Coers there in 11th, Bud Steele. Then you got Robert DuPont, Joseph Morales, J.D. Crow, Andy Brigante, Vicente Guerrero, Robert Jordan. And then from here on back, Matt, a lot of drivers opting to kind of start from the back here, not wanting to put a qualifying lap in, including Joshua Gathright, Donald Stewart, Diego Vasquez, Robert Rock, Jay Hilliard, Brian Grimm. And I say that list again going to keep growing here as you get to Paul Sheldon, Andrew Schroeder, Bob Fitzgerald, Dan Harrington, Randy Miner, and then you get to Todd Siebels, Charles Sanchez, Richard Sanchez, Dave Bingle, and Dean Wilkinson will be our 34 starters here this evening. So let's see, waiting for the field to all finish upgrading. Just got a couple people left here to go, and then we will get this race underway. All right, so the field's starting to roll off to get underway here, get that formation lap squared away.
I'm a little surprised Vicente Guerrero qualifying 17th there. It's very unusual to see him down there. Usually I would see him up more toward the front, maybe a little bit miscue for him. So he's in the middle of the pack. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to be keeping an eye on that one. So, because you're right, I mean, say you got Vicente down in about 17th. His teammate there, Cody Nagel, is going to be in third. So one thing I'm seeing right away here is some strategy, at least in my opinion here, probably some strategy. Some of these guys rolling the apron here. I think, talked about Matt, fuel mileage. These guys right on, yes. It sounds like just on the edge of a 25-lap fuel run. So I think we're seeing a few of these guys, Peter DeBorgia there, J.D. Crow, say they're just going to try to save every drop of fuel they can here as they get to that warm-up. Because, you can save a significant amount of fuel here just under caution. So obviously, I know you're familiar with open wheel IR18 Indy cars. Say those cars are able to throw. You can make some settings changes, go to map 8 and go full fuel save. I'll say these guys, they can shut the cars off and coast. And I'll say Indy cars, I've heard rumors you can. I'm too afraid to ever try it. So, yeah.
You can, but there's a certain miles per hour, but the car is limited. If you exceed a certain miles per hour under that, the car will not start again, and you're in deep trouble.
Yeah, and so I say that's not an issue here. Unless they forget how to turn the car back on, and say luckily no mechanical failures. However, pace car's in, green flag is out, and we are underway here, Matt, for 75 laps at minimum. As Sebastian Marin and Gabe Butler lead the field to turn number 1.
Yeah, not much 3-wide racing here early on. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
Yeah, exactly right. This is, again, Daytona about 80 feet narrower. 8 feet narrower. I'm getting some numbers way off there. About 8 feet narrower here at Daytona than Talladega.
A little bit of strategy.
Makes it a little bit, yep, Peter DeBorgia is rolling to the back.
Not a surprise.
Yeah, we talked about him maybe being able to gamble more. Maybe he's actually going with a different approach here. He's going to roll into turn onto the bottom in turn number 3. But the one thing to mention on that strategy too, though, for Peter here, is the apron. I think it's a really good thing to mention here, Matt, because Talladega, you can really kind of hustle the car around at 160, 170 on the apron at Talladega. Daytona, it's a very different animal. You have to go a lot slower. It's a lot slipperier. So I think there you got to be a lot more careful if you're going to have to get to that apron. And like you said, probably a lot more 2x2 we'll see tonight than the 3-wide like we see at Talladega. But if and when we start to see drivers get put down a lap, though, that's when things are going to really kind of shake things up and make that hard decision of what to do.
Yeah, it looks like a little drivers are being a little bit patient here, but here we go again. I talked to him about last week, Zach Workman, working with looks like Gabe Butler up top. Yeah,
and a really nice looking paint scheme too. It's got the Interstate Batteries looking paint scheme. However, say if you look close, that is not Interstate Batteries on that number 18 car. That's,
no.
I believe, Instacart Groceries, if I'm not mistaken. And I say kind of a combo work between Zach there as well as Peter DeBorgia. I think Zach, if I heard right, he did the paint scheme. Peter did the logos. So yeah, so really good work for those guys, and it's again just love to see the originality of what these guys have. Kind of the same thing we saw with Cody Nagels with those IROC cars. And also some new paint on that number 20. Derek Walker got bows on the side of that car. Say a nice little kind of a grayscale car, if you will, here. And say he's got his Twitch advertisement on the back and on the side of that car too. So really cool to see SA guys able to kind of advertise their own things and things they support. Of course, Peter DeBorgia with his support for Extra Life Foundation. It's really cool to see what these guys all have in store.
Yeah, I've actually a big part of his little group went to his Twitch chat a couple of times. So great dude, great personality, all around good person.
Yeah, and he's got a great group of supporters as well. Like I said we always get to spy on them in our chats. Always appreciate
Lug nuts.
that. Yep, exactly. Get to spy on them in our chat here. And we do have a few new names, new faces tonight. We got Joshua Gath right there in the number 89. He's up on that outside car, that darker red machine there on the outside of Bud Steele. And so he's getting help from Andy Bergante there. But his first race here at the Area 51, but was hearing really good things about him to kick things off here this week. So definitely some big expectations, I'll say, when you kind of get hyped up as much as you could from guys like the Boot Knockers. Like, okay, that's pretty high praise. So, and then we got a new paint scheme in front of him too. Brandon Briggs there in the 63. Looks like football season not quite getting there, but he's got his Raiders paint scheme rolling on that number 63, and I think he's also one that's been able to work with Peter DeBorgia to get some paint jobs done with him, as well as again supporting that Extra Life Foundation that Peter supports. We got Gabe Butler strategizing here, Matt, dropping to the apron there in that number 1 car.
He's probably gonna drop, get Peter DeBorgia and hang out with him in the back. But it's great to see Al Senna in the field. It's always a pleasure to have him racing with us.
Yeah, it's good to have Al back in there in that number 18. And he's got help, though. He's got a teammate now in front of him there in that number 24. And that's Everett Lane there right in front there. So that's a good thing for them. That's what they want, is to have some help and have some friends around them. So definitely keep an eye on those two to try to work together at some point in this race. So, of course, still early on, like you said, Matt. I think we'll see a lot of 2x2 here. And unfortunately, you see one that's dropped off the pack here, off the lead pack there, and that's the 80 of Diego Vasquez. Unfortunately, yeah, he's lost the draft. He's down in about 4 seconds now with those guys in front. So for Diego, he's going to need a yellow to get back into the thick of things here. But this could open up in a handful of laps, I'd say. It's going to open up that nervous part of the race, though, if they catch him before pit stops.
I had no idea what happened to him. I probably had to go back. I probably just dropped back too far, and before you know, when you drop back too far, it's very hard to catch back up because you got no one behind you.
Yeah, there's definitely a risk versus reward there. And so I saw a new paint scheme as well, the 6 of Bud Steele. He always likes to bounce things around. He's got the Peanuts mobile there tonight in that number 6. So you got Charlie Brown and Lucy and Snoopy and all the gang there on that number 6 machine. So pretty fun to see those. And I try and catch the 60 of Joseph Morales. I think he's got Looney Tunes on the back of his. So got a couple cartoons here lined up here, that 6 and the 60. So pretty fun. I don't think there's any coordination there, but I'll say both those guys having some pretty good coordination, whether or not intentionally.
Almost reminds me of that. What was that orange scheme that Dale Jr. ran one time? No, I'm trying to think. That was like Kevin Harvick running that orange scheme. I think
Harvick had some along those lines.
Yeah.
I'll say, well, we'll have some people that are fans that hopefully will give us the updates, and they'll know who it was.
Speaking of that, where are our TW guys? I'm just quite curious.
They're still right in that main pack here. I'll say you can see a couple of them dropped a fair bit back there. Say the Todd Siebels, Brian Grimm, Charles Sanchez, they're in the second pack here. Right now, Jay Hilliard, one of the further up of the TW drivers. So yeah, it looks like they're all kind of cruising about just outside the top 20 or so roughly, with Randy Minor kind of being the exception right now, up in the 13th position there in that number 101 there on the outside line. So yeah, so they're just they're going back to maybe the usual TW, if you will. Maybe that being Daytona, with it being again a narrower track. Maybe they said, you know what, let's back it down a little bit here and then we'll make those big moves later on.
Yeah, last week we've seen aggressive Todd Siebels, and aggressive Todd Siebels got himself a podium last week. That was wow. It was fun to watch him be up there.
Yeah, I know. And that's what's fun is it doesn't matter what strategy they do, as long as if things work out right, they give themselves a really good chance to be in the thick of it at the end. So, but you're right though. Right now, they're kind of more mid-pack, just kind of doing their thing. And I say while up front though, it's been Sebastian Marin and Zach Workman kind of just using both lanes. Kind of one passes the other clears the 071 Eric Laurie. Eric gives him that nice big push, and almost too big of a push there. As Sebastian able to clear Zach there, but almost just for a brief moment, a little bit of a moment there between the 071 and the 18, but they were able to get things gathered back up, and we still stay under green. But right now, the movers of the race here so far, though, Matt, are the 82 Dan Harrington. He is up 18, now 19 spots in that number 82 machine. He is trying to find him on track here. There he is. He's on that outside line, actually right next to his teammate, just about in that number 20. And then not too far behind that 101 of Randy Meyer. Those two gaining about 18, 19 spots respectively. By far the highest climbers thus far in this one.
Trying to find, okay, there's Gabe Butler. I was wondering where he dropped to. In the 29th position.
Yeah, so he's definitely on his own agenda here. And again, we talked about the fuel mileage, Matt. I wonder if there's maybe some fuel strategies going on. Decide, you know what, we're just going to really, really save here on this first run, maybe even the second run a little bit, and then we let it all hang out on that third run. So, and the thing is, too, again, for Gabe, for the most part this season, he'd been the in-race admin. Then it's been just a couple of races that he's decided to hop back into the driver's seat. Again, no rust to shake off because he's been racing in other nights and other leagues as well. But he's decided, it's like, you know what, I can do the same thing in the car or out of the car, watch the race afterwards. So it's definitely, I'd say, it's if you're going to add a car to the field, that one car is definitely one that's just going to step up the competition. So he might be, like you said, Matt, maybe he's playing it safe because it wouldn't take too much for him to make that top 8 because, he is one that is definitely known to rack up points very quickly. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that point standings with that one car when we get down to the thick of it.
Yeah, because that one car is that was a little bit of the bobble of the 071, and that allowed Al Senna to push Everett Lane. Can't get
not quite yet, but now they got teammates lined up outside. This is the first non-team challenge or inter-team challenge, I should say, for the Bootknockers because, it's like I said, it's been the 18, the 23, and the 071. Now they've got the regulators on the outside. I believe that's still the team name. Not sure if it's changed or not, but those 24 and the 80 are teammates with one another, so we'll have to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, but you got the best of the business pushing 071. I think he's the best in the business.
That's
my personal opinion.
I would say that's the problem is there's a lot of best in the business over here.
Yeah, I know. But what I've been seeing him week in and week out, there's no question.
He's a monster.
He exactly is. Him and Gabe Butler. Gabe is the monster in the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series. Sebastian Mariner and Peter Pedorja have been like the beasts of this whole series.
Yeah, you're right. More often than not, if you're going to want to win, you're going to have to try to beat pretty much those three guys more often than not. But at the same time, I feel like Everett Lane, I think he is definitely one that could be in this week in and week out. The problem is he just hasn't had the help. And so now he's got exactly what he's looking for out the back of that number 24, and that's the 80, like you said, of Alcina. So this is exactly what Everett's been looking for, is to have that helper. So he probably would like to have a couple more teammates helpers if he had the opportunity. But, of course, you're going to take what you can get. And saying, like you said, to have the 80 of Alcina, that's a pretty good one to have right off the bat.
Right now, I'm seeing a very patient Vicente Guerrero over there. Usually you would see him being more aggressive at the start of the race, just eager to get to the front, but now it's just like a little bit different strategy for the 14.
Yeah, he's just you're right, he's just sitting in a nice little calm pocket here, just on the edge of being in the last group of the two wide or the first of the single file line here. And I was saying, I mean, we talked about this week last year. You see right there, Eric Laurie, he's going to go ahead and jump to the apron here as well. But this is kind of about where I like to position my car if I get the opportunity. We're going to keep an eye on the 071 though here, and yet he's able to slide in there. We want to make sure he can get a spot in line there. But yeah, like where Vicente is, Matt, this is kind of my favorite little pocket to be in, is just in this lead pack. You're not risking losing anything, but you've also got some wiggle room around you just in case anything happens up front. As you see right there, that little bobble there by Noel Coers. Just a little bobble there, but everybody gathers it back up there. But yeah, so it just feels like give you a little extra space there to play with. But yeah, with Eric dropping to the back there, that's moved now Sebastian Marin back up with Zach Workman on the inside line. And I'm saying just slowly but surely, I think it's just allowing that second lane being led by Everett Lane to have more and more opportunities here.
Pretty nice by Todd Siebels picking up Eric Laurie and make sure you're not losing the draft. I respect that. I really do.
Yeah, it's a really good group of drivers over here. That being said, though, mentioning Todd Siebels, remember we were talking about him being in the deep 20s there. Yeah. Now he's up to 17th here. Dave Bingle, he's up into 15th in that number 28 machine. So I think, again, they did their fuel saving, Matt. I think they saved those first 15 or so laps, and now they said, you know what? All right, now we start to try to get that track position back, because if they can save just one extra lap than these leaders, that's the strategy I always like to employ. I always want to try to go at least one lap longer, especially when you're right on the edge of a fuel number to make it one less stop. Always try to go at least one stop longer and then jump in with a smaller group of cars there. As you see right there, Everett Lane, he clears the 23. But yeah, I like that strategy. Save, and then kind of set yourself free and try to make that big charge right around the pit stop cycle.
You guys just have no idea how much time you save in a pit road versus the cars running on the track. One guy, someone told me the ratio of that. Like for every second, I think it's 4 or 5 seconds on track, and it's just like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, there's definitely I mean, the bigger entry, bigger exits you can get. I mean, yeah, it just jumps leaps and bounds. So what we see right now, though, is unfortunately Diego Vazquez. You can see the little flame there off the exhaust. That's showing that he's lifting here, and he's just going to let the leaders swing on by here. So yeah, that's a tough one for Diego, because this is probably going to once again cost him the draft again, because Talladega, Daytona, he has to slow down so much here down the apron and doesn't want to risk anything. And so yeah, you see right there goes Peter DeBorgia right now, the last car in the lead, and they've already long passed him there. So unfortunately for Diego, I say this is now again for Diego, he's gonna need a caution to be able to get back into the mix here, as he's now the only car. That being said, the only car one down.
Yeah, he's gonna need a caution, no doubt in my mind. But back at the front, we got a new leader. Well, yeah, new leader.
Yeah, Everett Lane. So now you got teammates pushing the other teammates, if you will, with the 23 and the 80, the 24 and the 18. Yep. And as soon as I say that, though, there goes the 23. He dropped back in front of that 24. So now the question is, can J.D. Crowe push Alcina in far enough up here to maybe give him an opportunity to try to get to the lead of this race? Or is that 824 of Everett Lane, does he get another big push here on the inside lane to try to jump back to the outside of that 23 of Sebastian Marin? But right now, though, that 80 is getting a nice shove here from that number 5 of J.D. Crowe.
Yeah, I'm sure Al was getting tired of pushing everybody to the lead, and someone give him a push in return. But I'm looking up more towards front. I'm seeing Daniel Harrington quietly but surely running in the top 5 there, Gaio.
Yeah, then there you go. Alcina just cleared that 23 Sebastian Marin, so that puts now J.D. Crowe back up to the lead on the outside. But look at the inside line, though, Matt. It is completely stacked now. You've only got 4 cars in this outside line up front here, with the 5, the 82, the 6, and the 63. And then from there, you've got just a train down this inside line. And eventually, someone's going to be trying to find a way to squeeze in here. Saying for J.D. Crowe, I mean, he's going to want to find an opening at some point here, because we're on 21 of 75. So, again, pit window probably in about the next 4 laps or so. But I'm looking to try to see, because I don't see the opportunity yet for JD. But as soon as I say that, he's just going to pick up a teammate here instead, and that's going to be Sebastian Marin once more here, and definitely expect to see these two to lock onto each other.
I was looking more towards the back. I was looking at the 41 and the 1. Yep, there they go. I knew they were going to probably hook up with each other.
Yep, they done their
try
to
make their way forward. Well, looks like
I think they're still building the momentum up. But yeah, keep an eye on those two. I'm also looking at Charles Sanchez, that 509 Ally car on the outside line. He's starting to make that big jump to the top as well. And then this is the strategy I talked about, is at some point everybody's going to start to kind of funnel down to the inside line. That's going to make the outside line all the more inviting to jump up there. So, but yeah, I think now the question, of course, is the fuel mileage. Who's got the fuel numbers where? And I mean, to me, Sebastian Marin, he started up front. He's been up front a lot. I would feel like he's probably one of the drivers kind of on the worst side of things on the fuel mileage. So I get a little nervous for the 23 car, how far he can go if he doesn't find an opening here. But I'm seeing a gap starting to form in front of that 18 car of Zach Workman. I think that might be an intentional plan here to try to get that 23 inside if he needs to. But right now, though, just you can see, though, the 5 of JD Crow's just basically just pushing him too much right now to give him a chance to drop in.
I'm surprised he didn't take that lane in between the 18 and the Everett lane there. I'm just quite surprised.
Well, I'll say right now he can't. I mean, they'd have to actually like roll out of the throttle. But yeah, I mean, you look now. I mean, it is pretty much single file here, Matt, from the front to the back here. So, like you said, the only two that are really on the outside right now are that one and the 41 Pierre DeBorgia, Gabe Butler. But right now, the 23 gets a big push entering 3, but could not clear. That was a big opportunity that just didn't quite pan out there. So we're going to have to try to regroup and try once more here. But I don't suspect to see any pit stops here as of yet. Although, nope, we got a couple coming in a little earlier than I thought we would see.
Really?
And it's the TW drivers here, a big chunk of them here, all hitting pit road here, coming to lap number 24. So it looks like about 10 drivers here, Matt, from 22nd to 32nd.
Wow.
So I'm a little surprised by that, though. I feel like, again, the two-stop strategy, I feel like they would have wanted to wait another lap there. But I think, again, we talked about the teamwork. I think they felt like it was more important to come in together as an organization than to try to worry about that fuel numbers.
The more I think about it, Guile, I'm thinking less time on pit road and still try to make their fuel number. That's probably what they're thinking. That's the only thing I would probably think of. Todd Siebel, Brian Grimm, and Dean Wilkinson, Dave Bingo, Richard Sanchez, and all them. Just brainstorming all together, the whole TW squad.
Yes, here's our next group of drivers from, looks like 13 to 21st, so just a little less. But you got a couple teammates here with Alcina and Everett Lane. They're coming in together. Cody Nagels is in right there. Right behind him there, you got the 20 as well of Derek Walker. So that's going to now bring Sebastian Marin to the front there with JD Crow, Zach Workman, Brandon Briggs right there as well, Dan Harrington. So, and then a little further back, you're going to see Peter and Gabe. They've got into the mix here as well. So, and here they go. They jump up top here, Matt. That's what we talked about. They decided, you know what, we're going to save that one extra lap of fuel. I think we're going to see that one in the 41 there. Just going to push like there is no tomorrow. Run that one extra lap here. And actually looks like Bud Steele's going to be doing the same here. So they'll need to get coordinated. But here they all come onto pit road. And I think that's probably the calmest pit entry I've ever seen out of Sebastian Marin here, as they come in from now 4th to 12th here is the group that's on pit road now. And like I said, now you got Pierre DeBorgia, Gabe Butler, and Bud Steele are the 3 that are able to stretch this one extra lap, which could be very important for their in and out laps here.
I'm very, very surprised that the 41 and the 1 stood out. I'm just shocked.
I like it, honestly. I think this is a really good strategy. Yeah, I think this is a great strategy for them. It gives them a little bit of extra fuel. And, I mean, we know how fast they are together, and they've got even a third car of Bud Steele, and now they'll be able to jump in. And this is where they can get really aggressive on the pit road entry, and they can try to send it in pretty deep. You can see right there, Peter DeBorgia, the car is starting to wobble just a little bit as he gets down to speed.
Oh, I think he sped.
It's going to be tight. Well, keep an eye on Peter and see.
No, he made it cleanly.
He and Sebastian Marin, they love to get aggressive on pit stops, and that's the opportunity you have in that situation. Drivers that unfortunately did not get a clean pit stop. Brian Grimm, he had a penalty for a stop and hold, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Eric Laurie I think he may have either missed his pits or had to drive back through. As right now, though, it's going to be Sebastian Marin and Zach Workman currently leading. But here come those teammates on the outside, the 80 and the 24. They've got a huge head of steam. They're going to try to swing right on by. And then we're looking for those drivers exiting pit road. And right now it is Pierre DeBorgia leading that pack with Gabe Butler and Bud Steele behind them. As they say, you can look in the background. Bud Steele spins on the exit. And trying to see if he stays on track or not. Oh, just stays on the apron here. We will stay under green. That was extremely close there, Matt, because that was right as the field was swinging on by there. So we'll jump back to Peter DeBorgia, Gabe Butler, and they are going to cycle with the main pack. They won't hold on to a lead here, but honestly, I think this is pretty much a win for these two because they're going to stay in this main pack and have 2 laps advantage of fuel.
I was going back through the replay. Looked like Eric Laurie missed his stall, like about 5, 6, 7 stalls. That's a big blow. He was running up front with the leaders, leading the race there earlier. Hopefully he'll catch a caution and get back up there.
Yeah, and that's going to be the question, is where everybody is in relation to one another. But right now, after everything is cycled through, our race leader now is the number 06 of Cody Nagels. But as soon as I say that, there goes Alcina. He's going to jump to the outside of that 06 car and try to see if he can put himself back in the lead. Right now, we do have a few drivers a lap down, though, Matt. I believe Diego Vasquez, Donald Stewart, and Brian Grimm, the 3 of them currently sitting 1 down, with the 509 of Charles Sanchez right now being on the tail end of the lead lap. And you can see that pack is heading towards them in a pretty high rate of speed here. And then it'd be a little group until they get to Eric Laurie and Diego Vasquez to possibly put Diego 2 down. So I say right now these two just got to work together. But this is where things are going to get a little touch and go here, Matt, once the field gets to them. Because again, what do you do? Do you try to run the third lane, let them buy up top? Do you cost yourself a ton of time and drop to the apron? It's a really hard decision to make, as you see right there. The one, though, Gabe Butler, once again, he's dropping straight to the apron here again in that one machine, as is the 89, as is the 41. I think they definitely got their strategy here, and they have been sticking with it. And I think actually maybe trying to pick up their teammate possibly of J.D. Crow, as he's a little bit further back there with Robert Jordan. So maybe a little bit of team strategy here going on as well.
Just kind of looking where the one car cycled out. I didn't catch where he was running.
All right, well, here's going to be a big moment right now, Matt. We're going to see what these TW drivers do up front. Right now, they look like they're just going to hold the bottom yellow line here. So this is where the whole field, they're going to have to try to squeeze up just a little bit. Oh, no, they're going to make the late left onto the apron. They were just able to make it off of 2 before they cut down low. So that should work. However, he's got to be careful not to do a little bit too much off-roading there. I think they'll be all right, but definitely we'll keep an eye and see, because this is where, again, that's what I was worried about right there, is that banking difference. And it looks like the 40 and the 509 going to hang on to it, but again, losing so much momentum in the process there. And that's always the nervous part of that strategy. So that's the first group of lap cars done. But again, they're going to have another 2 drivers here shortly, of the 080 of Diego Vasquez and the 071 of Eric Laurie here, and probably about the next 5 or so laps, I would say.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a heart rating moment for the 24. I was, didn't know if they were going to move or not. I probably would have swallowed my Adam's apple at that point.
Well, I'll say it took about 1 pit stop, Matt, but we're going to try 3 wide here as the 101, the Randy Minor. He's trying to run the third lane. He's got help from Dean Wilkinson, and then also from Richard Sanchez on the outside line. So we're going to jump on top with that third car on the outside line of Richard Sanchez here as they watch those TW drivers work that third lane. And this is where you start to get a little nervous here.
This is little butt-buckling moments. Oh, God. Yep.
And we've got a big Reg 101 up and over in the air. Sebastian Marin's in it.
Yeah.
The 510 as well. Oh, the 24. That car just got thrown like a pinball there. I'm not sure what was going on there, unfortunately, for that 24 of Everett Lane. But that car is demolished, and he's going to try to see if you can see he's got the throttle and he's trying to get the car to go. And, yeah, I think he's going to have to take a tow, unfortunately. Yeah, that front clip, rear clip, it is gone. And so, unfortunately, that is a big one here at Daytona on lap number 32. A massive break, though, for the 080 and the 171 as they don't go down the extra lap. But let's go back, Matt. Let's take another look, because unfortunately it gets tight in that 3-wide racing, and that's unfortunately what we just saw there. So we'll back it down here. We'll look to the front here. So it was right around the 101 of Robert Rock there with Alcina, I believe, is kind of where it all kicked off. We'll try to get a better look at it here, good angle of it. We're going to look at it from the top here to get a better view. But it's again, I mean, again, it's 8 feet narrower than Talladega, and you see right there, it looks like the 80 just drifts up a little bit, maybe a little bit of net code, but unfortunately, that's enough to get him right into the 24. You see the 06 involved as well, and then from there, it's just trying to find a way. You can see 3 drivers barely make it through there, and then from then on out, it's just kind of who can make it through with minimal damage at least. I mean, you see right there, you've got about a dozen cars in this pile here, and then at some point the 24 just, I don't know what happens. Yeah, a little bit of a glitch, and that car just starts helicoptering there. So just bad luck for Everett Lane. Got even worse there. As you see the rest of the field, you got one that's still on its roof here on the grass. Then everybody else that was a little further back there able to just kind of slow down just a little bit more and stay out of this incident. So those guys that dropped to the back like Gabe and company, definitely the right call for them, but we've got drivers hitting pit road, Matt. So it looks like at the moment Joseph Morales is being shown as our leader. However, not sure if I believe he stays out actually. So he's going to be about 8 laps of deficit on fuel. And then we talked about drivers that were involved in the incident. We got that 18 there of Zach Workman, about 38 seconds on pit road. 33 seconds here for Sebastian Aaron as he's rolling back out onto track. 45 seconds for Todd Siebels, about 37 for Joshua Gathright. And unfortunately, we still got a few more here that are still on making some lengthier stops as well. You see Derek Walker there. He's at about a minute. You can see the nose damage in the rear to his car. Andrew Schroeder as well, just rolling off pit road now. Dan Harrington, unfortunately, as well. And what these guys are going to do here is they're going to go wait as long as they possibly can, but they see that pace car coming in the background, and they're going to have to go ahead and get rolling out so they don't get trapped a lap down. But unfortunately, though, that huge wreck, though, definitely has got a few people that had to take tows, as including Randy Miner and Everett Lane here. So they will probably go at least one down, it's looking like, as everybody else is just trying to get damages repaired as we're back to one to go here.
Yeah, it's more like it'd be easier to count and say who wasn't in it.
Yeah, I'll say in the front of it, I think 3 cars got through unscathed, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the 80, the 07, and there was one other. I'm trying to remember who it was offhand now. But you're right, though. From there on out, though, I mean, it was pretty much everybody else until you got far enough back where then you had a different group. And we also do have a few topping off here. No surprise to see Gabe Butler in there, Sebastian Mayer, and Eric Laurie. Again, that caution, big break for Eric Laurie that puts him keeps him on the lead lap. And I believe, waiting to double check on the timing and scoring to see who our lucky dog went to on that one. But I believe it may have been Diego Vazquez, because I think he was 1 down, but not. He was kind of getting to the edge of being 2 down, but I'll wait for timing scoring to update, because with all the drivers that are kind of catching back up, it's really shaking things up. But I believe it should be this 080. But I might be wrong here. I'm still showing him. He's actually is still down a lap, as are Vicente Guerrero, unfortunately, and Donald Stewart. And right now I'm showing Dean Wilkinson as the last car on the lead lap. So not sure where the lucky dog was on this one, Matt, though, unfortunately. However, pace car is about to make that sharp left turn, and it's going to hand it over to Joseph. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Lights are back on the pace car, so I think they've extended it by 1 more lap here, just because I think everybody was still trying to get situated, and that's been so that's gladly going to be accepted by these guys again. Going to put a little more fuel back in these cars again, Matt. Just going to try to get every little drop they can to just kind of help that pit strategy out here.
So what I'm hearing, the 41 has some kind of iRacing glitch.
Of Peter DeBorgia?
Like, it's showing him no tire. He says he has no tires on his car.
Well, at least on our screen, he's definitely still got tires. So
the 24.
Oh, the 24. Yeah, that car. Let's see if we can get a better look at it here. I mean, that thing. Yeah, whatever happened to him was one of the craziest things we got. So I got to try to find a better look at it. It looks like the fast repair is taken on from our point of view here, but unfortunately for Everett Lane, though, you're right. Might have got a. I mean, whatever happened there was definitely a strange glitch that threw him pretty much to the moon there for a little while. So yeah, that's a tough break for Everett because he was right. I mean, honestly, he was the innocent bystander there. He was in front of it, but then unfortunately that contact got hooked into his right rear, and that sent him straight up into the wall. So it is a really tough break for Everett. And I'm saying I don't know if there's any real way to fix that. So, however, we're back to green here, Matt, with Joseph Morales leading the way in that number 60.
Got a few new faces up toward the front there, Kyle.
Yeah, that we do. I'm a little nervous about Joseph Morales, though, I must admit, because, again, he did not pit. So he pitted on lap 25, and then from then on, he's yet to pit, which basically gives everybody else at least an 8-lap advantage on fuel than that number 60. So while he has the lead for the moment, fuel mileage, if he doesn't get any help, he's going to have to hit pit road on his own here. Once we get to that next window again, probably around lap 50, about 50, maybe 55 or so with those caution laps. But I'm not feeling too confident, though, if I'm that number 60 right now.
No.
Unless you got somebody who's willing to kind of take the hit with you, or, of course, getting a very timely yellow. But for everybody else, though, they're all on the same strategy. Should be from this point on one stop to the end. Of course, that question mark, Matt, of course, when that final stop will be, as they start to squeeze just a little bit more through 1 and 2 here. I think these guys starting to get just a little bit tight on one another here. And then, unfortunately, again, we're going to have to start keeping an eye on that lucky dog ball. And there goes the 24 Everett Lane. He finally is able to get going again. So it's still a really, really tough break because he's now down 4 laps, unfortunately. So he's just going to have to kind of gut this one out, possibly, or he might call it an early evening. But definitely a tough one there for that for the 24 car.
Well, same story, different week. The 14 cars a lap down. He made up his lap last week and finished on the podium. Can he do it again?
It took about the whole race, too. So you're right. So that's going to be the next question, is that lucky dog battles. I believe right now Donald Stewart in that position, in that number 78. So he's got that Gravedigger car. But if you look just over his shoulder, basically, there's Vicente in that lime green IROC paint scheme car. So right now that's going to be a very important battle. But again, is this the place to be? Or honestly, I mean, go back to Diego Vasquez. If there's a wreck up front here, it's going to be tough for those guys in this double file pack to miss it. Whereas where Diego is, he's in a great spot to get out of all of it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But right now, though, it's been pretty steady up front, though. That 60, he's been able to continue to lead some laps here for Joseph Morales. Of course, probably not happy about his fuel situation, but at the same time, it's always nice to be leading laps in a race here, and saying he's done a really good job with help from Robert DuPont right behind him, and then Alcina with help from Robert Jordan. And saying, again, you talked about some new names, new faces up front. We haven't talked about Robert too much tonight, but he's doing a great job here this evening as well in that number 74. And actually now he's going to lead that outside line, pick up that 63 of Brandon Briggs, and try to see if maybe he can get a lap lead here.
More like both the Robert Stewart guy, because Robert DuPont has won a race, and Robert Jordan has not. So could tonight be the night? We'll never know.
That's why we're here, and that's why we want to find out. And you and I have talked about, we love first-time winners.
Yes, I do.
It's a lot of fun to see. Yeah, we've got a lot of Bobs and Roberts up front here, Matt. So we've got Robert Jordan, like you said, we've got Robert DuPont, we've got Bob Fitzgerald not too far back there in the 08. So the Bobs are here to party here tonight, and right now all in the top 10 right now.
I kind of like where Joshua Gathright is running right now. Just minding his own business, just sitting there chilling. If there was a wreck, he can easily avoid it.
Yeah, he's nice in a little pocket there, you're right, in that number 89, and he's also got some good help behind him. You've got Zach Workman not that far behind him, and then you've got some of the TW drivers, and you got Peter and JD and Robert Rock, Eric Glory. I mean, that's a good group to have around you. You can feel kind of confident to have those guys near you, but so yeah, and he's also got a couple of car lengths in front of him too, so that's, I agree. I like that little spot that he's in. He's able to just play it safe, be cautious, but yeah, what I'm going to be watching, actually, I said there goes Robert Jordan. He gets a great push from that number 63 of Brandon Briggs. He gets himself easily to the front, but I think actually got too good of a push here because that's going to open the door here for that 80 of Alcina. Nope, Al's going to stay put here and continue to push here. So Robert Jordan going to lead this time by here at lap number 44. So yeah, the question mark now, Matt, is going to be pit strategy again. If we stay green, in theory, it'd be about, 7 more laps or so until that pit window opens. Until you get to about 25 to go, that would be right on the edge. I feel like drivers going to want to get a little bit more fuel just to be a little bit more comfortable to make it to the end. But again, the one that I think we'll see forced to pit first, though, is going to be Joseph Morales in that number 60. And the question will be, does he have any friends to go in with him or not?
Looks like everybody's just being patient. Ever since that big wreck, I think the field has kind of calmed down there, Gael.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely settled out a fair bit right now. I have a feeling Robert Jordan, he's quite all right with this, because I say he's just calmly cruising, leading laps in that number 74 car. He's got a great push with Alcina behind him, and then hasn't had a ton of pressure yet. And as soon as I say that, Al sees the outside line going. He's going to jump up top. Look at Brandon. He's going to try to go to the
wide.
Third lane here.
He's got no help there.
But Cody stays to the middle, I should say. And that's going to be a tough feeling for Brandon there. It's like he thought he had the move to try to get the lead of the race. And now he is just going to get just
dropping all the way back
like a rock, unfortunately. So he's got to try to find a hole here. But right now, nobody's going to give an inch right here.
No. Track position here is key here at Daytona, more than Talladega. You get stuck on that third lane. It's what is DW called the sucker hole, but that would be the middle lane. But he's stuck on the outside. Oh, is he getting the wall? He's in the wall.
Oh yeah,
God, we got big wreck. He got in 78.
So far, everybody's keeping it pointing up. Now we got contact, and we'll see. Everybody's still pointing in the right direction, so we may still stay green here unless the admins throw a yellow. But they typically just try to keep let iRacing do the caution decisions, and so unfortunately it looks like for those guys involved we do stay green. Unfortunately, Richard Sanchez involved, he had to jump to the pits there, so we do stay green. And so right there, Matt, basically from one lap you go from possibly trying to take the lead of this race to then getting put 3 wide, and unfortunately end up getting involved in an incident and then pretty much without a caution really kind of ruining your chances here. Also, Bob Fitzgerald is in a tough little spot there for a moment too. It looks like he's gathered his car back up, but this is really shaking the field up now, though, Matt. Right now, we've got about 13 drivers in this lead pack, and then you've got to go over 6 seconds back to the next group of drivers being led by Dean Wilkinson. So, yeah, this is really shaking up the field once again. That's the risk of dropping to the back, is if you get those incidents that don't bring out a yellow, it just could completely ruin your race here. So we'll see. Again, there's still 30 laps to go here. 29 at the line, but that's going to definitely change a lot of potential for what the right strategy is here at the end.
Yeah, that's a tough break for the 78, but he was in prime position to be the lucky dog, but now that lucky dog spot was pretty much a lone wolf, all by himself.
Yes, and that would be the 14 of Vicente Guerrero, because, yeah, he's got about 12 seconds on anybody else. The only potential snag, though, is when they start to catch some of those drivers who aren't a lap down, which right now, Dan Harrington, he's got pretty significant damage. They're about half a lap behind the leaders as they run. You can see all the damage to the cars as well here. So, but yeah, so that would be the one to watch at this point. But you're right, right now, the 14, He likes where he is, but again, as I say, he's in the hornet's nest here, so there's still no guarantees for how it's going to shake out. As you see, there goes Cody Nagels. He clears the 80. He drops low, gets that lap lead, and now Bud Steele here, I'll say he's going to hopefully get some help from that 14 to try to see if he can get maybe back the hard way. As there goes 80. He saw the opening. He jumps in front of the 6. He wants to get that lead right back.
Yeah, what a huge checkup from the 06.
And there he goes. He clears the 06, and that's how these things happen. You make the move, and the momentum just basically shifts. And so, I'll say now Cody's opportunity would be if he could clear the 6, he could try to jump up in front of Bud. However, Bud was able to get just enough momentum to stay to the outside, I should say, of the 06. But now he would need help from Vicente Guerrero. But right now, Vicente's not really quite on the bumper of the 6. And again, like you said, Matt, I don't blame him. I think it's in Vicente's best interest just to stay in this pack, but not to really kind of ruffle any feathers, if you will. Just stay in the pack, stay up in the front of the pack primarily, and then, like I said, hopefully the cautions fall the right place, right time, and you can get that lucky dog back.
That is a very smart move by...
almost
not
clear.
Not quite clear there.
And that's the risk.
Very close.
And we talk about that week in and week out, Matt. That second car, you pretty much lock on the rear bumper. You stay fully focused on the car. Say, okay, I'm going to go exactly where he goes. But then when he clears, you want to follow, but you may not be quite clear enough yet. And so you got to really make sure you're fully focused on your spotter as well, because it's easy to do. Here's an interesting move, though. Cody's going to jump up top here to pick back up this 6 car Bud Steele and open up the inside line for the 80 of Cody Nagels. Or sorry, Cody Nagels opened up the bottom for Alcina, apologies. So that's kind of a different move that we haven't seen yet here. But, Matt, we are at lap number 50 now, so this is right in that 25 to go window. So this will be about time to see when do we see strategies come in. And we also got to talk about that second pack here. They are running just a little bit faster. Joshua Gathright leading that second pack in the 89 car. It was a 47.29 to a 47.45, so about a tenth and a half quicker in that second pack. So don't count these guys out yet either. So, I mean, you've got a pretty stout group of drivers here as well.
Hey, remember we talked about the 60 car pretty much not pitting with the leaders?
Could have been. It might be a good call, though, Matt, because he was able to stay in front of that incident.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
But this is going to get a little dicey now, Matt, because they got one coming out of the pit road. He's going to go straight to the top there. I think that's Todd Siebels in the 45, and I say he does a great job of being able to do that. Now if he can get onto the draft, I don't know if he's going to have enough momentum built up.
Oh, we got a car on the wall.
Yeah, that was the 048 Andrew Schroeder. He hangs onto it.
He's got it.
But Matt, is putting Derek Walker in a tough spot. They're just squeezing each other, but they clear. Woo! Oh, Derek his heart was beating right there, but able to get through there. So Alcina continues lead, and then there's the pit strategy, Matt. This is what I wanted to see, and I thought it would be these guys, and I think this also forced their hand, honestly, Matt. They had to come in early, take that shorter fuel stop. They got to close the gap to those guys in front here, so I think this is the perfect decision for this pack here.
Oh, no doubt. These guys are all in the same Discord. They know how to work the draft. I'll be interested to see how this will play out. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So they're rolling out of pit road now. The next step, of course, they have to try to all get out well organized. And the next question, of course, also be, do we see any reaction to them? The answer is not from the front pack. Do we see anybody from the second group? Because now that group that was a pretty big group, now only 3 cars. And no, they stay out. So right now it's basically the boot knockers, if you will, versus the field. With Peter DeBorgia leading that pack. And they have come off pretty well together here. You've got Peter, you've got Zach Workman, Sebastian Marin, Gabe Butler, J.D. Crow, and they're also actually going to pick up Dan Harrington here, but he's got some pretty good damage, so they probably won't use Dan. However, Eric Laurie didn't get the pit stop he needed here. He is going to be in a very tough spot right now because he's going to be in the clutches of these leaders, and actually he's kind of seen that coming. He goes to the wall. That's going to allow these leaders to drop back under him on the low side. So that's a nice gesture. It's a tough gesture to make, but he's going to drop low. And there goes Joseph Morales on his own. He's going to hit pit road there in that 60.
I think he's going to have us a little company.
Maybe. You know what, though, actually,
he does. He does. He does have a few people coming with him.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I think they're a little bit too far behind. We'll see, though. But what could happen, though, Matt, is even with the slower stop, he should be able to cycle on and tag on to Sebastian and Peter and company just because of the fact of when he pitted. So with him pitting a couple seconds ahead, it might give him a little bit of breathing room. So we'll watch that. And I'll say we're also going to watch this next lap around for Peter DeBorgia, who's leading this pack compared to Alcina, because that's going to be the question mark, of course, too, is are they gaining time after they make their final pit stop compared to the 80? But what might happen here, Matt, I'm watching the intervals. Alcina is right on the edge of catching that draft, and once you get into that draft window, you gain a ton of speed. And so as Peter DeBorgia, it was a 46.92. It was a 47.04 for Alcina, so gain about a tenth right there to that pack that pitted with Peter DeBorgia, Sebastian Marin and company. So it's not all but over yet for these guys.
Right now, I'm going to be watching lap times of this group back here, Gabe and company. Last time by, they ran a 46.839. Let's see where our leaders ran a 47.4. So that's at least a second faster.
Yeah, but what's happening now, though, is Alcina, he's starting to catch traffic right now, and he is starting to get a ton. This is going to be a big lap for this 80 car, Matt, because he's starting to catch the draft of cars that were that either a pit or lost the main pack here. And so it was a 46.84 for Alcina this time to a 47.23 for Peter DeBorgia. So right there, you gain about 4 tenths. Like I said, you can see in front of him, he's starting to catch some more cars in front as well, which I believe are, if I'm not mistaken, I think are going to be Robert Rock and Dean Wilkinson, who also made their final pit stop here. So this is a really interesting opportunity.
Like he predicted.
Yeah, so Joseph, he can just grab onto the back of these guys, and also maybe that pack behind. Joseph could still be in the thick of this as well. So I really like where Joseph is. He could still be in a really good spot to be in the battle for the win here at the end. Just needs to try to see if he can just tag onto the back of JD Crow here. It might depend on what these guys behind him do. Do they follow him or do they try to pass him? And it looks like they're going to try to swing around. Nope, they pick him up actually in that number 60. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But right now, though, those leaders, though, again, Matt, 46.58. That was Alcina's best lap of the race to a 46.66 for Pierre DeBorgia. So, like I said, they're while Sebastian, Gabe, Zach, and company, while they're all making great lap times, Al's in just the perfect spot here, Matt, because he's picking up drafts from these cars in front of him, and he's just allowing him to go that much faster still. So it's and actually here this is a big point here. This is outside pit stops.
Yep, this is going to be the money stop here.
It looks like everybody's
we got a little
big wreck in the back there. Yeah, the 040 of Andrew Schroeder was involved. I think I saw Bob Fitzgerald as well. But the leaders of that group, though, they get in cleanly still, it looks like. But we do have two that stay out here, Matt, Noel Coers and Jay Hilliard. It's just the two of them, but if they have the draft here, they could still make some pretty good lap times, so we'll watch that. Let's also watch this battle off of pit road. It looks like Alcina's going to win that battle out with Cody Nagels right behind him, which is then going to have us start to watch in the back to see where everybody else comes out in relation. So we'll look out the back here of Alcina as they build speed. And is there enough momentum for that company of Gabe Butler and them to catch back up? Because right now they're still about a couple seconds off. So we'll keep an eye and we'll see how it all cycles out here. Oh, Al just touches. Oh, he has got to be careful. That wasn't a pit exit penalty. That could be a close call for the 80.
Oh, that is very close for Al there. No pit road penalty for him. That was pretty scary.
That was very,
close
very
moment.
tight. So we're waiting. Right now, we got to wait for timing and scoring to finish. Yeah, because we do need to mention Jay Hilliard, Noel Coers. They have serviced their cars. They're rolling out of pit road. Actually, it looks like Noel Coers looks like he's got a pit penalty. So Jay Hilliard, he's going to roll off on his own here. However, he's still got about a couple seconds. Oh, he's also touching the yellow line there in the exit. He's got to be careful not to get that pit penalty like we talked about, though, Matt.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it week after week. Mistakes on pit road. He can make you or break you in a race, cost you seconds on the track. Just be mindful of all your surroundings there.
This is going to work well, though, for Jay here.
Yeah.
I think he's going to cycle in here. He's going to lose the lead, But I think he's going to come in right with the guys, though. So this is a good opportunity for him. Alcina's going to continue to lead here. But look just behind him, though. Here comes Bud Steele. He's got Derek Walker in tow. And here comes, they're starting to make the moves here. What do they need to do? Go high, go low. They go high. Bud Steele's going to drop to the bottom with help from Derek Walker. Bud Steele's going to take the point. Oh, no, 74. Robert Jordan, not sure what happened there, but he's gathered it back up. But he hit the pit exit cone. Not sure if that could be a pit penalty or not for him. Hopefully the admins can take care of it. So we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, though, Bud Steele now our leader of the race here.
Looks penalty. Woo!
That's a good break for the 74 there.
Yes, sir.
But now look at the outside line. Here's Derek Walker. He gets the push from Alcina. He takes over the point there in that number 20 machine. So now you got Derek Walker to the point here with help from Bud Steele behind them. But then you got Cody Nagels and Alcina trying to work the second lane. But then I say just give it time because the packs are starting to close back up again together, Matt. While these guys fight, I'm still watching Pierre DeBorge on them. They're about 3 to 4 seconds off the lead. This race is not over for them, and they are making lap time.
They are 8/10 faster than the leader was last time around.
Yeah, 47.28 up front to a 46.56. And again, at this point here, I believe the 41 is starting to pick up the draft of, I believe that's Robert DuPont in front of him. And then they're just going to keep going from there. So the goal here is to get to these two guys, and then from there get to the rest of the field. So I say we still got 15 to go. Let's say obviously right here, this is the battle for the win currently. But we're going to be watching that group behind because this is an out. So this could turn into a 8-car lead pack into an 18-car lead pack if that second pack can keep doing what they're doing here. However, back out front, the Alcina, he's found his way back around Derek Walker in that 20. So say this is where everybody's going to start to get a little greedy, and we'll see does Derek Walker, does he stay committed to Alcina? Answer is yes. I wasn't sure if he could try to pop in front of Cody Nagels. He did not. That's going to now allow Cody to try to push with the help from Dave Bingle there on the outside line, another TW driver. And then you got the 07 of Robert DuPont right there as well. We talked about Robert a few times, Matt. He keeps putting himself in position here. He just needs to be at the right place at the right time to have a chance to win one of these. So say he's once again, we've done all of our scheduled pit stops, and he's back in contention here. And I was saying also you see, like we talked about, Robert Jordan's right there, Bud Steele's there, Jay Hilliard's there. So you've got about 2 TW drivers there, and then you got a couple independents, I believe. So this will be interesting to see. But again, right now these guys though, I think they're starting to realize they got to work together though to keep in front of that second pack though. As last time by it was about even, Matt. So 46.73 for Peter DeBorgia, of 46.76 for Alcina.
Because if I was looking at the back of the rearview mirror of Robert Jordan, I see a bright red Peter DeBorgia catching. It's right now. I think it's 2/10 per lap. At this rate, they're probably going to catch him with about 4 to go.
Yeah, and so this is all, of course, pending things staying green. So, yeah, I mean, right now these guys they want to push, they want to get themselves in the best spot. But again, if they can, like we saw before, Matt, there was a race where 3 drivers basically kind of separated themselves from the field. So, they need to still be smart about it because Peter was again about 1 to 2 tenths quicker. You see him there in the background in that 41. So he's getting all the pushing he can get from Zach Workman. So and the thing is too for Peters, once he's close enough, he doesn't have to get to the bumpers of these guys. Once he gets to about a second and a half or so, then he starts to pick up the draft of that last car in line, which I think right now is Noel Coers in the 15, who I believe might be our first car one down if I'm not mistaken. So also very important for the 15 to stay in this main pack as well.
Last time by, they were 3.4 seconds? Trying again to see what it was this time around. No, it stood about the same. They had picked up the pace.
From the lead, it's about 3.4 seconds of a gap. But again, though, that's to the lead. So, what you really want to look at is the gap from Peter DeBorgia to the last car. And so it's about 3 seconds, I'd say, roughly from Peter to Robert DuPont. So that's gonna be what Peter's watching too. He's gonna say, okay, how far am I from that closest car to me? You see one drop into the apron there, let the leaders on. But we got contact.
Oh no, we got a wreck. It looks like Alcina in the 80.
Yeah, the 80's involved, the 20's involved.
Oh, no.
That's a tough one here. You see the rest of the field trying to sneak through. You got a couple guys going through the grass to avoid it, and that is going to change the complexion of this one completely. So let's go back, though, Matt. Let's see how this all unfolded. Because, yeah, it was towards the very front of the field here. So I didn't quite see it as it happened, but let's go back once more and take a look. And so we'll focus on that number 80 of Alcina. And say he was involved in an earlier incident. This one, I say, not sure if it was of his doing or not. And it looks a little bit of net code. But that's all it looked like. Yeah, kind of maybe the 80 drifted up just a little bit. I say it's one of those things. It's hard to say, and I say we're just here to kind of watch and see what's happening. But the one I'm watching here, though, again, we talked about the lucky dog position. I'm watching the 15 of Noel Coers. And right there, Matt, I think going through the grass here to avoid the wreck, I think that might take his eligibility for that lucky dog out. Which I wish there'd be something that they could do to change that. Because, I mean, he was avoiding the wreck. He shouldn't lose his lucky dog eligibility because of it. So we'll go back live, though, because, yeah, unfortunately, you see Alcina trying to get back underway, catch the field again here. But we are going to have a late yellow here with single-digit restart with right now Bud Steele leading Jay Hilliard. So we're going to keep an eye on the lucky dog side of things and see who might be the beneficiary of. Like I said, it should actually, no, it looks like Noel Coers will get the lucky dog indeed, so that's good. I'm happy to see that because I thought that was going to cost him. So he does maintain that. So it looks like strategy wise, not a lot of people hitting pit road. So we'll step away here. That way we can get back for the exciting finish here with under 10 to go here. So stay tuned, everyone. All right, so the lights are off of the Mustang pace car, which is going to pass it over to that Peanuts machine of Bud Steele on the inside. Cody Nagels to his outside. Then you got TW Motorsports teammates on row number 2 of Jay Hilliard and Dave Bingle. And then you got the Roberts of Robert Jordan and Robert DuPont in row number 3. And then you get to the BK, or not the BK, I'm sorry, the boot, BK, the Boot Knocker party here. Right behind them, and saying it's a good group of drivers there, Matt. You've got Peter DeBorgia, Zach Workman, Sebastian Marin, Gabe Butler, JD Crow. They're all right here together. That is going to be a tough one for those guys to. We'll see. And this is going to be the third lane is going to happen now at this point in the race, Matt, because all these guys up front, they're going to want to keep those middle 2 lanes to themselves. I think that's going to force the Peter DeBorgias, the Zach Workmans and company. I think they're going to have to try to get to that 3rd lane to have a chance to win this race. So we'll see, but it's going to be Bud Steele that's going to bring it back to the green as he goes a little early. You see everybody's trying to react and get back to the throttle as we restart this thing with 7 to go. As Cody just able to clear the 59 there of Jay Hilliard, but Jay's going to waste no time. He wants to get to the outside of Cody. You know he's going to pick up his teammate here of Dave Bingle. The question will be, where does Robert Jordan go? Where does Robert DuPont go? And then where does Peter DeBorgia and the rest of his team go? So I'll say again, this is still a lot of racing goes there. Already starting to push and shove. There goes Peter DeBorgia. He jumps to that 3rd lane just like we anticipated. So we've got 3 wide here as we're coming around to go 6 to go. We got contact already. Those 74, I think, got into the outside. Big wreck. And we've got a big wreck in turn number 3. Oh, huge. So many cars involved here. And that's going to put us back under yellow.
Oh, Peter's in it. You got some big names in that.
Yeah, a lot of drivers involved there. Peter DeBorgia was involved. You see, notably there, you see the 74.
Zach Workman's involved.
Yeah, I think, you're right. I think I saw the 18. Or not. Yeah, sorry, the 18, also involved. That car, it could be worse. I think he might get away with that. Let's go back, though. We'll take a look. I'm
a little bit worried that the 14 got involved with that. He looked like he caught a piece of that because he was the first car lap down.
Well, we'll keep an eye and see who gets the lucky dog. But we'll go back first and look at the incident. And you see the 74 pushing the 06. Oh, that was where the big wobble happened there. And so again, this is just everybody trying to get greedy and get those lines going. But as they get into turn number 3, we'll try to get a better view of it here. So it looks like at the moment, so it just looks like contact on the entry on, yeah. Let's say, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just maybe, I say it's kind of what we saw a little earlier. Maybe the 74, if he just kept it down just a little bit, but again, everybody's just trying to get everything as much as they can here. But you see there goes the 41. You see Sebastian Marin. Looks like he actually gets a piece of it as well. Yeah, his right side definitely in contact here. Watching Gabe Butler in the smoke here. Also the 60 of Joseph Morales. I think they get through this. We'll continue to watch Gabe here because he is just straight on the brakes in that one car. Really great job by he and Joseph Morales here. We'll kind of speed it back up a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to say definitely big hats off to Joseph and Gabe there to avoid that incident. So we'll go back live here, Matt, because I believe at this point we should have seen the wave around car. And there he goes right there. You saw him, that lime green flying by. That is, like you said last week, Matt, he was able to get his lap back late. He does once again here. So Vicente Guerrero going to have at least one more chance here.
Oh, he's got a big horseshoe right now. But going back to that wreck, I'm not sure if you saw it or not. Sebastian Marin is the most luckiest individual out of all that.
It looked like he had a little bit of right front damage, no?
No, he pretty much ghosted, went through the 41.
Well, let's go back, let's watch it,
he
and
got
let's listen.
No damage on it. I'm looking at his car. It is clean.
Well, let's hop on the roof of Sebastian Marin as it unfolded, and let's watch and listen in here. Yeah, he kind of just ghosted straight through here right there. But I'll say, yeah, Gabe Butler, though, and Joseph Morales, I think they did a really good job of getting through that as well. I'm sure there's a lot of drivers that made really impressive moves to avoid it.
Yes.
Oh, you see, unfortunately, Robert DuPont didn't catch that earlier. Robert, with his front clip, was missing there as well. So we'll jump back live there. So, yeah, you're right, though. Say connectivity may be the saving grace for that number 23 of Sebastian Marin here.
Yep. Him living pretty much into the Atlantic. That's where he's from. It's such a beautiful country. But other than that, lights are out on the pace car, Guile.
Yeah, so what we've got now is we've got TW on the outside with a Boonarker behind, and then you've got you got the 6 and the 06 lined up on the inside. I feel like if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't that long ago that I believe Bud and Cody actually worked together recently as well. So I think we might see these two try to lock on together. I think the goal, like I said, I think the goal for these guys, though, is you're probably going to have to try to separate those teammates, though. So we'll have to keep an eye, because right now you see Sebastian and Gabe, they're side by side with one another. And then not too far away, JD Crow actually is right behind Sebastian Marin. And then we mentioned that great avoidance by the 60 of Joseph Morales. He's still right here as well in that number 60. He is going to restart in the 7th position. So, yeah, it's still all to play for. I believe, like you said, Matt, too, I think we are back now to 19, I believe, back in the lead lap. Actually, 20, I think, with Dave Bingle. So we'll see. But we're going to restart this one now with 3 to go. So just outside the green-white checkered window here on this one, Matt. So if there's a yellow, then we would go into green-white checkered territory. So we'll see if we can get this one under regulation. It's going to be Bud Steele leading this field back to green.
Wimmer, yep, there you go early. Yep.
I think Cody was ready for it, because you saw Cody was ready to go as well. Sebastian Marin tries to squeeze Jay Hilliard. He's able to get underneath the 59. Jay's going to feel like just basically like he's got no friends
me out.
Right
yep.
now.
Yep.
Where does Bud go? Where does Bud go? He decides like he's going to jump in front of Cody. And look at Sebastian Marin. And look at Jay Hilliard, a big move to get to the inside in front of Gabe Butler. But Sebastian Marin, he gets to the front here at the moment. But here goes Sebastian. He's going to try to play both lanes here. He jumps in front of Bud Steele. Bud gives him a big shove, as now it's the 59 of Jay Hilliard leading the inside line. So this is it. Everybody's going after all they can get right now.
I really have thought that the 6 was going to try a 3-wide situation there. That would pretty much the play there, but it's far too early. Here we come. Here comes the 3 to go here.
2 to go here at the line, Matt. Is right there at the line. I believe Jay Hilliard had the lead there by thousandths of a second. And right now, teammates are split up here. You've got the 1 pushing the 59. You got the 6 pushing the 23.
It was close.
As they are pushing for all they are worth here. You can see everybody's starting to jumble up just a little bit right now. And we're going to see eventually that third line is going to form here. Unfortunately, Cody Nagel's a little bit of connectivity issues. That makes it hard for him to make any big moves. But we're coming down the backstretch here, Matt. See if they can get to that white flag to get to that 1 to go.
Oh, man. This is probably going to be an epic finish.
Yeah, so here comes, look at that second pack, not second pack, but a little bit further back, though, that second group, though. They're starting to make a big charge, and we're going to see there it goes.
I expected that 3-wide situation.
All right, so now
they get,
they get to the white, so from here.
Sebastian Marin out to dry in the middle inside the sucker hole, and Cody Nagels is sticking with the 6 car. Here we go.
Oh, Cody's in the
Cody
wall.
Nagels got in the wall.
Oh, Bud Steele couldn't get to the bottom because Gabe Butler takes the middle. Now what does Jay Hilliard do? Jay's going to stay to the inside. He's going to hopefully pick up JD Crow to get the push that he needs. But up front, though, now Gabe Butler has the momentum here and the push from that 23 of Sebastian Marin. And right now that 59 is, we got Breck in the back, but we stay under green. As right now the 23 and the 1, they clear the inside line. As here comes the 89 of Joshua Gathright. He's starting to get into the mix here.
Yes, sir.
But can the 59, can he make a late charge coming out of 4? Right now, a little bit of contact, but the 5 and the 89, they make contact. They go around.
No.
Up front, though, it's going to be Sebastian. They're flipping in the background, but Sebastian.
Oh, boy.
Gabe Butler's going to beat it over Sebastian Marin and Jay Hilliard. And then from there on back, it is, we got a couple spinning on the top there. Who is that upside down? I think that's the 5. Oh, they're still wrecking across the
goodness gracious.
And it's JD Crow. He was the one that was spinning like a top. He finally gets pointed in the right direction. All right, let's go back and take a look at that finish, because there was some craziness in the back of that pack there coming to the end. Everybody's just trying to get everything they could here. So let's take a closer look and see. Oh, you see the 89, the 5, just a little bit of door-to-door contact, but unfortunately from there, that's where everything kind of kicked off, unfortunately. And you see everybody's just trying to gather back up. Andy Bergante, just wrong place, wrong time. You see Joseph Morales right in the middle of it. I think he sneaks in just in between the two of them. He does. Look at that number 60 just peek through. And then there goes Todd Siebels. He goes up and over. And there's the 5. He gets in the hit. And then, man, those guys are flying over the finish line at this point. And then this is where the 5 car he winds up just spinning like a top all the way down the tri-oval here. And so you're going to see it. So again, I'm running super slow-mo, so this is running a lot slower than it would be for him, which I'm sure he'd prefer. And right there, the 15-0 course, he makes contact, and I say we'll pick up the speed here because that's how fast that car was spinning there on the infield. But it was all behind our leaders there, Matt, with Gabe Butler getting the win here tonight. And we talked about it. He may have missed a few races, but Gabe is going to be one that could easily have a chance to win this, be in the top 8 for the championship, and that win is going to definitely jump him up the running order. All right, so with that crazy result, what we will do is before we kick to the interviews, let's go ahead and pull up our final results, and then we'll get to those top 3. And as you can see here, it's going to be Gabe Butler over Sebastian Marin, and Jay Hilliard finishes in 3rd. And then you got Joseph Morales, a great result for Joseph, up into that 4th position. Robert Rock 5th. And then from that chaos from there on back, though, you got Zach Workman, Joshua Gathright, Eric Laurie, Todd Siebels, Robert Jordan finishing in the top 10. And then Bud Steele, J.D. Crow, Peter DeBorgia, Andy Bergante, Noel Kors are top 15. And then you've got Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero, and Dean Wilkinson. And then from 19th on back, not the nights they were hoping for, though. Dave Bingle, Robert DuPont, just tough, very end of the race for him in that number 07. And then Dan Harrington, Bob Fitzgerald, Randy Miner, Brandon Briggs, Andrew Schroeder, Alcina, Derek Walker, and Diego Vasquez. And we get to our final finishers here of Brian Grimm, Richard Sanchez, Donald Stewart, Everett Lane, Charles Sanchez, and Paul Sheldon in 34th. So with that, Matt, we got to chat with some people, and we're going to kick it off with that number 59 of Cody Nagels, who, I mean, he did everything he could. He was in a good spot Cody there. Nagels.
Jay Hilliard.
Let's pull, or it's Cardinal. I'm so sorry. I'm mixing up names here. Thank you so much for correcting me there. I would be good wrong the whole time there. All right, Jay. So you were in a good spot on that restart. And then, it was just everybody for themselves, it looked like there at the end. So you kind of got hung out, you stuck to the inside line, just waiting for that pusher. What's going through your mind there in that final restart?
Well, I knew Gabe and Sebastian were behind me, right? So I knew they were going to try to probably split me. And so I was just going to try to stay outside lane. And then when Cody and Bud jumped up, I saw Sebastian come below me. I said, well, I'll just go below Sebastian and follow on the inside, and we got a good little run. And then when Sebastian jumped up, I was like, hey, man, we might have a chance. But then when him and Gabe got hooked up, and it was hard, hard to get further up. So it was a good race. I enjoyed it. I was able to lead a lap and run up front a little bit. So all in all, it was had fun and got a podium and helps my points for the playoffs. So all is good. I'd love to win, but it's hard. It's hard when you got 3 or 4 guys that are really pushing hard with each other and used to each other. And I was the odd man out, but hey, it's all good.
And the points are a really good point there, Jay, because you came into this one. You had a great run last week. You jumped 4 spots to get into the top 8, and then to kind of cap it off again, also with another podium here tonight to get probably against. I don't have the points on hand now, but so it should, like you said, kind of add a little bit more to your cause to help yourself to try to kind of solidify your top 8. So kind of a couple good weeks in a row, like you said, because after tonight, there's 2 more races, then we're already into that final 4. So you're right though. We're getting right into the thick of it here pretty quickly.
Yeah, you always want to win, but you want to playoffs, so you got to look at big picture, and that's what I was trying to do. I saw those guys coming. I was like, well, if I can just stay in the top 5, I'm good. Would love to win, but hey, third's nothing to complain about. It gives me more points, and that's what I'm looking at as big picture. So hey, it's I'm happy. You know what I mean? It's good to go.
Yeah, you did everything right. The pit stops, you were spot on. You made all the right calls. It was really, like I said, just all around a really good race for you. And you're going to have to yell at your teammate a little bit probably because Todd was able to just eke you out for the highest climber by 1 position. You gained 20, Todd gained 21. So you're going to have to give him a little bit of grief, maybe either post-race or pre-race next week. But no, so you guys do what you guys do best, and so you keep your cars in a good spot, and then make that big charge when it comes to the end of it. So you did everything right there at the end. Just didn't quite have the push you needed, like you said, but still a great result for you, man. And definitely want to give you the floor here for any thanks and shout outs for that top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Kyle. And yeah, Todd already beat you to it. He's already gave me grief already. Immediately right after the race, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I got beat you by one spot for the most advanced." So, but anyway, it's all good. I'm glad for him, and thanks you guys for broadcasting. Much appreciated, and appreciate Area 51 and everything for all they do, and looking forward to running next week and see you guys.
All right,
Appreciate
sounds.
everything.
Yeah, man. No, I was saying, yeah, great job tonight. I would say it was a lot of fun watching you, and like I said, you just had yourself in the right spot at the right time all race long, and like I said, put yourself in contention. Just say when you got some of those teammates without your help behind you too, it puts you in a hard spot. But you did everything you could, man. So yeah, definitely a great result for you, and looking forward to seeing more of it in the next coming weeks.
Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. Catch you later.
CJ.
All right, Matt. That would bring us. I don't know. Are we going for the combo again, or are we going solo tonight?
They work together pretty much the whole race.
All right, let's go combo. We're gonna grab our second place finisher of Sebastian Marin, and for good measure, we're gonna grab our race winner as well of Gabe Butler, because like I said, it was pretty much a duo there at the end. They got hooked up, and at that point, it was pretty much all bets were off. It kind of looked like, but. I mean, it was definitely not a race without some craziness in this one, Sebastian. I know you were in the thick of at least one of the wrecks, and then the other one we noticed you kind of turned into a ghost there and snuck away from some of your teammates. And we joke about netcode taketh, netcode giveth, and I say this one you kind of got a solid there from iRacing. It looked like tonight.
Yeah, race started out good. Got kind of shuffled a little bit mid pack after that pit stop. And once they started going 3 wide, I kind of wanted to get out of there, but I was kind of boxed in, and like a lap later, they wrecked, and I had nowhere to go. So yeah, after that, didn't have a fast, so playing conservative. Then that, I guess, wreck that didn't throw out the yellow. Then we were kind of forced back about 6-7 seconds, and we were right on the verge of catching them. And then, of course, they wrecked. And got very fortunate. I think my quality went down right before that wreck happened, which probably is what saved me and made me ghost through some cars. Because the initial wreck, when they got turned up the fence, I missed it, but then the car started bouncing back, and yeah, definitely had a little bit of luck on my side. And there at the end, my plan was try either get Gabe or Workman to win, because they needed more in points. They're a little bit further back in the points than I am. So when I was behind Gabe, I was fine with finishing second. So I was basically going to be the roadblock for him there coming to the line.
Yeah, I was saying that's something that Matt and I talked about too. It's like, okay, we got Gabe. He's coming back into it after kind of running that as race control. It's like, you know what, I can race and then do the post race afterwards. And I mean, Gabe, it's something Matt and I talked about. It's like you get back into this thing. It's like it's missing races or not. You're knowing you and what you're able to do. You're gonna find ways to get back into the thick of this thing. And it took a couple races to kind of get the brakes to go your way and maybe just kind of. I wouldn't say shake off the rust, because I don't think there's any to shake off there, but I think just to get the luck, maybe to come back around a little bit. And like I said, you get yourself in a position to have a chance to win. I'll say it's not very likely that you're going to not pass up on that opportunity, and you're able to nail that tonight. And so, like I said, got yourself in the right place at the right time, got Sebastian lined up with you guys. And I mean, from there, it was you were on, but you kind of looked like your race too is you kind of had a game plan. You kind of rolled to the back early, and then you were just kind of same thing, cruise control, and then of course then have to make that late charge with the incident that didn't bring out the caution, and then but of course then the later yellow then changed all that. But it was a little bit of excitement for you, but it looked up maybe a little calmer for you than Sebastian here tonight.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it was kind of a strange race. I mean, I'm just dealing with potato internet right now, so that was one of the reasons why I went to the back. So I think it helped in the end. But yeah, we definitely got lucky with that last caution there. It caught us back. I think we would have caught them anyway when the laps were winding down. But yeah, it tightened the field back up, and we thought we were right back in it. But again, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. You're nothing on a super speedway without your teammates, and I'm telling you, we just did fantastic tonight all the way around. I mean, just tremendous work from all the teammates. Brilliant job. I'm probably breaking up right now. I see my quality's dropping again.
And it's going through all right, but yeah, no, and you're right. I mean, there was actually a couple of cars too. Say we saw, and I know obviously we talked previously when I heard about your hiccups you were having, but we noticed a few other drivers occasionally having a little bit of hiccups too. So maybe not something that's I know there's something going on with you. We've been talking, but maybe something between the server and the cars this evening as well. So. Yeah, so I mean, but still, I don't know if I haven't been able to check the results officially, but I don't know if you were able to get through that one unscathed as well for an incident-free race, or was that something you were keeping an eye on too?
I was keeping an eye on it. That's why I did about 3 extra laps at the end because I had 0 coincidence. So, I mean, talking about overkill, but yeah, again, it's all down to the team, man. I mean, just what a job getting me up there and getting me to win. A tremendous push by Seabass there at the end, and the rest of the guys just the whole race. We were talking about how we were going to try and get me up to the front, me or Zach, and see if one of us could get the win. And I just happened to be the lucky one tonight, so hopefully we can get Zach a win next week.
Yeah, it's impressive what you guys are able to do, and as I say, it was obviously not for an easy one because I think you guys were either in I think it was row 3 on the restart, so obviously you had a couple guys to try to find a way around, and of course with Daytona it's a little harder to make that third lane happen. So say once you saw that you're able to kind of more get towards the middle, was that feeling a little bit better that you're able to not have to run the wall just in case? Because obviously some of your teammates got involved in earlier incidents when there was contact that went to them when they were running the third line. So was it kind of a better feeling? It's like, okay, we're down low, we're probably a safer spot.
I mean, down low is safer here at Daytona, but I mean, I've got no issue running the wall at Daytona. I mean, but you just got to be aware of who's inside you, and if you feel they can, maintain a good line where you can run the wall with your teammate. But if not, it's kind of something you want to avoid. You just got to be aware of who's around you and who do you think you can trust to hold the line or who you can't. So, I mean, that's the key.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense there. But say I have a feeling between you and Sebastian, say probably plenty of trust to go around there. So I'll say, Sebastian, we'll kick it back over to you, man. So yeah, just a great run as well. Like I said, a little bit of involvement earlier, but able to recover and get back into the thick of it. And yeah, obviously a great point night as well for you because you've missed a couple here as well. So you're having to, I'd say, climb a little bit, maybe not as much as Gabe, but you're having to work your way back up there too. So I'm guessing it feels pretty good to kind of get that solid result here as well.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I think I was 7th in points heading into the race, and Gabe was around 12. By my calculations, I think we should both still be in the top 8. So at the moment, it's working out to be a good time, and yeah, definitely trying to balance of aggressive with conservative because, like you said, I'm near that bubble of getting in or out. But I think staying out front is where I feel more comfortable than riding at the back. So I don't think I'm a change much unless I don't feel safe if I get shuffled mid pack. But yeah, like I said, like Gabe said, it's all about teamwork, trusting your teammates, and we did a great job executing. And we're gonna try do the same thing next week to try and get work middle win.
Yeah, that's yeah, because it's 2 down, or I should say after tonight, 2 to go until we get to that playoff. So I won't be surprised to see you guys going after these final 2 races, of course, back to Talladega for the next 2. So before I let you go, though, so we'll start off with you, Sebastian. Just any thanks and shout outs for anybody watching, supporting that helps you get here, man. So definitely want to give you the floor.
Yeah, of course. I want to thank the Boot Knockers. We did a great job tonight, working together, executing perfectly, and getting Gabe the win, and getting everybody else get decent, relatively decent results. Want to thank you guys for putting on this broadcast. It's always a lot of fun rewatching the race, seeing what you guys think of the race, seeing it from a different point of view. And want to thank Area 51 for putting on this league. It's a lot of fun.
All right, so then we'll pass it over to you, Gabe, as well, because I was saying also in our YouTube chat prior to that restart, we mentioned where you were in row 3, and one of our viewers like Gabe for the win, and say sure enough you're able to answer that call there. So say even the viewers know that there's if you're in the thick of it, you're going to be one to watch, and like I said, you're able to get it done tonight. So definitely want to give you the floor as well for any thanks and shouts for that win tonight.
I'll give a big shout out to that person in chat. Shout out to the Boot Knockers, just without them, be nothing. They did a fantastic job tonight. You guys for doing the broadcast, yourself and Matt up there in the booth, and of course Area 51 for putting on the show.
All right, man. Well, I'll say, yeah, definitely enjoy this one, Matt, and I'll let you kind of finish that one out.
No, I was just saying I really do appreciate you, Gabe, and all your things you do for Area 51. Yeah, forever grateful.
Oh, no worries, bud. Enjoy it.
Yeah, so he's kind of a man of multi talents there, getting wins, helping with the admin side of things, helping with setups. I'd say definitely. I'm saying, obviously, thank you. Honestly, I think the league has to thank you as well, because I say you've definitely put a lot of time and effort and just dedication into the league as well to make it what it is. So I think on our side, actually, man, definitely hats off to you for everything you've done to help this thing grow and be as successful as it's been too. So really appreciate you, Gabe.
Thank you, guys, and it's a pleasure. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. So it's awesome. So it's all good.
All right, man. We'll go let you celebrate with your buddies there, and look forward to seeing you again here soon, sir.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, Matt. That is our race winner in that number one of Gabe Butler, and yeah, I mean, like I said, you give him an opportunity, he's gonna find a way to make the most of it, and able to do that once again here tonight.
Yeah, without that little glitch, he said he had a little connection issue. He rode around in the back the whole time. He kind of used the Todd Siebel strategy, and it pretty much got him to victory lane. Hats off to them guys.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing and that's what we talk about, the selflessness. It's not even just with teammates. I mean, like I said, he's an admin, so he's one of those drivers that you kind of have to do kind of lead by example. And it's like, okay, hey, I know I got a connection issue, so what am I going to do? I start up front, yeah, but I'm going to ride to the back, let it settle in, and then once it settles in and I can feel confident to make those big moves, I'll go for it. And so that's what you love to see with those guys is, I'd say, just again, the dedication, the selflessness, and just the outright professionalism of as well. I'll say it's a great little niche of drivers we have here. And it's like I said, it's our little dysfunctional family, and yeah, definitely wouldn't have it any other way. Really, really like what we've been seeing week in, week out from these guys. They race.
Yep.
And I say more often than not, we don't really see too many tips or anything like that on the side, so it's really nice to see.
Right. Yeah, like I said, we saw it last week between the IROC boys, and this week is the Boot Knockers. And what will we see next week?
Might be TW train. You never know.
Hey, it could happen.
Exactly right, and that's the thing is it could be any team any week, and that's why we're here. That's why we watch, and that's why these guys race as well. So Matt, as always, man, really appreciate you helping me out in the booth. And I'll say, like I said, same thing with Gabe. I mean, I'll say you on track, off track setups for the Indy cars, broadcasting with me on Sunday nights. I mean, I'll say really, really appreciate all your time, effort, and dedication to the league and to Greenlight Checkered TV as well. Definitely does not go unnoticed, especially obviously by me, and I'm sure by most of the admins and everybody too. So definitely really want to thank you for all your time and hard work as well. And yeah, everybody that's watching, thank you all for watching and supporting us. Like I said, I definitely know there were plenty of Derek Walker fans. Not the night he was hoping for, but he was up there in contention. Just unfortunately, the breaks didn't come for him, but definitely keep after it, because I'll say, again, keep yourself in position. You might get those wins. So until then, though, hope you had a wonderful weekend. And, of course, have a wonderful evening and upcoming week. We'll be back tomorrow night for the Next Gen Series. Nick Chambrone will be calling the shots for that race I believe we'll be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So until then, stay safe, stay tuned, and we'll see you all tomorrow night. Take care, everyone.